No, yeah. So we've got 176 people on the line tonight, and Sue, I can't think of anyone better to really tell us about how extraordinary the Juice Plus business is. And we are fascinated to hear your story, because most of the people on the line are people who literally just started. A vast majority, a lot of women on the line, and men as well, of course, but a lot of women, and they will be fascinated to know about your experience and about your story. So just first of all, tell us a little bit about your background, because obviously you haven't always been a Juice Plus, and you have a family, a wonderful family, a lot of grandchildren and great-grandchildren, but tell us how it all started.
Okay, thank you, James, for having me on the call, and welcome everyone. I'm excited that there are new people in the business on the line tonight. Well, I was born in Mississippi, poorest state in the United States. My father was a sharecropper. He raised cotton, and we had no electricity, no indoor plumbing. And in grade school, my father moved our family to Florida, and I was pretty much raised in South Florida. As a teenager, I dropped out of high school. I met Bob, and we married when I was 18 years old. We had 5 children, 5 boys, our first 6.5 years of marriage. And I stayed home with the boys until the youngest one went to school. Then I entered the job market with no education and no skills. And I did a lot of things to try to make money. I tried selling real estate. I tried teaching aerobics. I tried grooming dogs, washing windows, maid work, yard work, a little bit of everything. And then a friend introduced me to this business, and it's been wonderful since then.
Fantastic. So tell us, I mean, you got going pretty much right away with the sheer excitement of everything that was happening. Tell us about how you first started, because Bob, your husband, obviously I know him very, very well, but just to say, Bob, your husband, he didn't join you straight away, did he? So tell us about how that all worked.
Okay. I had done so many things, and he had backed me that he was pretty gun shy. He put me through real estate school, and I couldn't sell real estate. He helped me get my certificate to teach aerobics, bought the boom boxes and the leotards and that whole thing. I didn't make any money. Put me through dog grooming school, bought the shears and helped me get a location, and I didn't make any money. So I tried Herbalife, and I didn't make any money. So he wasn't excited about me trying something new. But a friend of mine introduced me to this through the product. We loved the product, and he mentioned the business, and I said, no, thank you. I'm not any good at sales, and I'm not any good at network marketing. And I thought that would be the end of it. But thank goodness he was persistent, kept inviting me to things, and finally got me on a 3-way call with his upline. And together they convinced me that I needed to just come and look, that my negative attitude was jeopardizing the financial future of my children. And so I went to the meeting, to the presentation, just to be polite. And I really thought that if I showed up one time, they'd get off my back and stop calling me and leave me alone. So once I got there, I saw the numbers. What I really saw was 12 Club, and making about $25,000 a year from my home, being my own boss, with no big investment. That's the part I knew Bob would love. And working around my family's schedule, and I really, what caught my vision was $25,000 a year. And so I am so glad that I was on my friend's memory jogger list. I'm so glad that he was persistent with me and got me to come and take a look. He didn't really let me say no until I had looked. So that's really the only convincing we do. I learned early on, we don't convince people to buy, sell, or join. We convince people to look. If we get enough people to look at our product, we'll get customers. If we get enough people to look at our business, we will build a team.
Fantastic, Sue, fantastic. So tell us about your first 6 months, because obviously for a lot of people, that's a critical time, isn't it? But what happened for you, and what really made your first 6 months such a big success? Because obviously there are a lot of people who started at the same time as you and Bob really roared ahead. So what was it about the first 6 months? First of all, what happened? And then what was it that really made the difference for you?
Okay. in that first 6 months, well, when I was at that meeting and I realized that this was something I really wanted to do, I knew that I was not going to have to ask Bob's permission, but I was going to have to explain it to him. And so I went home and drug him back to an evening presentation and let him hear it for himself. And he's a numbers guy, so he really understood the numbers. And he said, okay, you can do this. Or he was okay with me doing it. Because back then we had to put money in. We had to buy product up front, remember, James, and then go out and resell it. So, but then he got buyer's remorse. He later got buyer's remorse and said he was so sorry he let me join. He okayed using the money to start, which was only a few $100s at the time, but we were so broke raising 5 children. We were living in a rented house. So my friends explained the fast track to me, how you could skip from dealer to virtual franchisee through the fast track program. And so I thought, if I'm going to do the same thing, I'm going to do it for the most money. So I paid attention to the fast track. And what I did was I spoke to 40 people my first 30 days. I got 22 customers and 3 team members. So I did the 60-day fast track in 30 days, and I replicated that in my team. I taught my 3 to go and get 3 each. And everybody was building a customer base, and everybody was getting 3 team members and doing the fast track in 30 days. And then we would all go back the next month and get 3 more and teach those 3 to get 3 more. So we just had this little system of 3s. Get 3 to get 3 to get 3, and eventually it will turn into 5, because you eventually want to have 5 front lines. I hope I'm not jumping ahead of myself, but it was what I realized was that my results were because of my activity level. When my activity level stayed high, my results were good. When my activity level was low, I didn't have good results. So we're playing a numbers game. Okay, so I just kept my activity level strong.
Fantastic. Can I just say, for everyone who's on the line, can you just all make sure that you've muted yourself? That's the bottom left-hand button, mute. Because there's a little bit of background noise, and it's such a shame if we have any interruption. So if you could just look at your mute button, bottom left, and just tap that into. Okay. I tell you what I'm going to do, Sue.
Yes.
Sue.
Yes.
I'm going to mute everyone, and I want you to unmute yourself in a moment. So I'm going to mute everyone now, and then unmute yourself. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, that's fantastic. Good. All right. That's great. We're muted now. All right. So just tell us a little bit about that 333. I love that. And believe it or not, I've never heard that before. So what was all that about?
Well, when I saw 12 Club, what made sense to me was that if I got 3, if I built my customer base and I got 3 and helped them build their customer base and get 3 each, I would have a team of 12. And at 12 Club is where I saw the money. I didn't understand the whole national marketing director thing at the time. I wanted to create a 12 Club, which would create $25,000 to $30,000 a year for me working from home. So that's what was in my mind. If I got 3, and then they got 3 each, that would be 9 plus my 3. I would have 12 on my team. And then I realized that we needed 5 strong front lines. So I just told everyone, and it's hard to work with 5 at one time. So working with groups of 3, I found it easier. So then the next month, we all went back and got 3 more. Then we all went back and got 3 more. We just kept going back and getting 3 more until we got a strong structure and a strong team with customer bases and those who wanted to build teams.
I really love that. So it's 3, just getting 3 new team members per month, and then everybody else doing the same.
Yeah, if you can get 3, the minimum is 5 customers and 1 distributor a month.
Right.
That's the very minimums. But if you can get 3 to work with, you'll probably find 1 good one.
And of course, bear in mind that, of course, this was all offline. So there was no Facebook. There was no...
It was one-to-one.
And it's incredible, the business that you've been able to develop effectively offline.
We spoke to over 400 people in our first 120 days. In 4 months, we spoke to over 400 people. We got 11 to sign up as distributors, and we built a huge customer base. Everyone was getting customers. But out of over 400 people, we only got 11 to join our team. And there are people who say, well, most people would have quit. 11 out of 400 is not very good odds. But I said, I got so excited when one said yes, I forgot about how many who said no.
Yeah, fantastic. So tell us, obviously a lot of people are thinking, well, I'm moving along, I'm doing stuff, but I don't really feel like I've had a breakthrough yet. And people often talk about a breakthrough of when they bring in a new person or a fantastic person. Tell us a little bit about what was the sort of first big breakthrough that you got where you thought, right, now we are really moving?
You're gonna laugh, but it was my personal breakthrough was before I made my first phone call. I'm kind of programmed to do a lot of housework, and I was very nervous getting started. My office was the end of my dining room table. So I was sitting at the dining room table, the kids were off to school, Bob was off to work, and I went to pick up the phone, and you know how it just feels like it weighs 10 tons and your heart beats fast? So I was a little bit scared to offer something to my friends, sell something to my friends, try to get them to join my team when I didn't even have a team. So I was sitting there, I looked in the kitchen and I said, why don't I just load the dishwasher? Loaded the dishwasher, had some dish towels in my hand. I said, why don't I just throw these in the laundry? So on the way to get the laundry basket, I passed the bed. The bed wasn't made. I said, you got to make your bed. So I picked up the sheet to make the bed. And when is the video on? When I flipped the sheet down to make the bed, I saw myself in the mirror across the bed. And I just looked at myself and I said, are you a fool? Are you going to stand here and make this bed? Or are you going to make yourself get back out there and get on the phone and make a fortune? I left the bed, I left the laundry, I left the dishes. I got on the phone and I made a fortune. That was my first breakthrough, that I could make myself get over the fear. And then my first appointment. With my first appointment, nobody bit my head off. Nobody. So it was like I got over the fear of my ego, of what my friends were going to think of me on the phone, what my friends were going to think of me when I showed up at their house.
That's so cool. I mean, of course, Sue, sorry, keep going.
No, that was just my big breakthrough. The breakthrough that I can do this. I will make myself do this.
Oh, I mean,
I had no options. My options were gone.
Sue, I think your personal energy is just so incredible. I mean, you're an amazing person, but I can just see this mad, crazy ambition.
Well, you know how you and I met.
Yeah, well, I remember that I was on a plane in Dallas waiting to pull back and to show how bold you'd become. And the stewardess was walking all the way down to the back of the plane. I was thinking, well, she's obviously looking for someone to give them maybe a special meal or something like that. And she walked all the way down and all the way down. And then she came to my seat and she said, are you James Sanderson? And I said, yes. And she said, would you come with me? And I was like, oh my God. She said, there's a phone call for you. So I walked off the plane. I never even knew that you could actually ring people on a plane, just to show how bold you were, Sue.
Neither did I.
Yeah, and there I was at the front of the, coming out of the plane at the front desk, and there it was you on the phone. And that was just incredible. And you said, hi, it's Sue here. We haven't met before, because I was like a prospect. But I was just so impressed with that. And I got back on the plane, and the rest is history. Yeah. So, Sue, tell us a little bit about a lot of people are going to be interested about what was your daily method of operation, right? Bob was at work, the kids had gone to school, you're in the home, and you were talking about the three members per month, three new team per month, the 12 club, really getting moving. But what was like your daily method of operation?
Well, in the beginning, I made sure I spoke to all my recruits, my reps, every day. Each night before we went to bed, we would speak, and I would say, what are you doing tomorrow? Who are you speaking to tomorrow? What is your agenda for tomorrow? So every night before I went to bed, I knew what I was going to do the next day. I always set goals, or my calendar, by the month, by the week, and by the day. So I knew what I wanted to accomplish for the month, and I knew how to break it down by weekly, and then I knew what I was going to do every day. You can't wake up in the morning and say, oh, what am I going to do today? You'll waste a couple of hours deciding what you're going to do. So you have to have that. You take your month and you break it down by the week, and then your week and you break it down by the day. And you don't always accomplish everything, but you have to set yourself minimums. And I think what your daily method of operation, I used my 5 children's contacts. Don't forget those 5 boys, they really came in handy. Bob was always aggravated at me because I kept them so involved. They were involved in band and sports and church and scouts and, you know, just all kinds of things, you know, things in the neighborhood. So, I mean, I literally called people on the band list for 3, I had 3 in the band, and said, hello, my name is Sue, like I did with you. My name is Sue Burdick, and I don't know if you remember me. I hadn't met you, James, but I say, we have children in the same band class. My son's name is Levi, or my son's name is Bo, or Jake. And I said, I'm starting a new business, and I would like to run something by you and get your opinion on it. And I just did that with you know, with all the contacts that I had, and I set myself minimums. I wanted 2 contacts for the product and 2 contacts for the business done every single day. And when Bob would come home at night, he would review the structure with me because he understood the numbers better than I did. I got the people, I did the training, and he helped me with the structure. So I would say, okay, I have 3 here, and everybody went front line until we made national marketing director, everybody went front line. Then we started building the second spot. But what I focused on were the numbers, because we are playing a numbers game. And what I realized, if you settle in and just do your minimums, 5 customers and 1 rep per month will get you 12 reps and 60 customers in a year, right? But out of every 10 customers, you're going to get 1 who wants to be a rep. So from your 60 customer base, you're going to have 6 more. So 6 from your customer base plus 1 a month is 18. So if you do 5 and 1 every month for a year, you're going to have 18 frontline reps and 60 customers. Now, we know they're not going to all stay, but they won't all go away either. So if you do that for year after year for 5 years, what I was taught when I joined the business was develop a 3 to 5 year game plan. It's kind of like a university degree. At university, you usually spend 4 years getting a degree. Now, some are really fast and do it in 3 years, and some are like my youngest son, are a little slower, and they get a 4-year degree in 5 years. So a 3 to 5 year game plan. So if you do just 5 and 1, month after month for 5 years, you are going to create a structure that is unbreakable. You're going to build a structure that you could put the Empire State Building on. So Bob and I built such a strong structure, and we taught our people to build such strong structures. The ultimate goal to make national marketing director is 5 sales coordinators wide. You may have to sponsor 50, 100, 500 people to find the 5 workers that you want. You're going to have, you know, a lot. You probably have 40, 50, 60 people front line, but you're going to have 5 good, strong workers. But so out of the 11 that Bob and I sponsored in our first 120 days, there are still 8 lines working, and you're one of those.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh no, I thank you.
Oh no! Look, I'm so excited. I would never be here today unless I wasn't in your team. So you know, it's been a fantastic. But really, Sue, the amazing thing though about you is that you've built such an enormous team, and you've built such a deep team, and you've got such a vast number of people. So how much have you earned from the business to date?
It is in excess of 25 million. Getting probably by the end of this year will be $26 million.
Yeah.
From a couple of high school dropouts, raising 5 children, living paycheck to paycheck, and worried about the future. Yeah. What an amazing journey I've had.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing. But I just want to ask you about that team building element, because I kind of got a little bit of a sense of the way you operated by the way you operated with me. So when you came to England, I was just a sales coordinator. But you worked through me, and you worked down as deep as you could with me. And you went, I remember you going by train all the way to Bath to do a meeting with my friend Charlie. But what was incredible was that one line and that one journey you made, that line within about 3 to 4 years after that became an NMD line. But so tell us a little about your philosophy about team building, because you've just got such an amazing way with people.
Well, you can only make so much money by yourself. So you have to offer the opportunity to others to create the team that's going to create the big money. You know, you have to get past just 3. I could make $25,000 a year, you know, with 12 Club, but with 100 Club, it becomes, you know, bigger and bigger. So I always try to set the example for my team. What I was also taught is that if I teach one to teach one to teach one, then I'm 3 levels deep. I've taught mine to teach another one, to teach another one. And I go, like I went with your teammate to show him what to do, to show him how to do it. I had done it with you in London. You had a job and you couldn't go. So I was there to teach your team for you.
Yeah.
I believe in a hands-on approach. I like to teach them the basics, teach people the basics, and have them teach their friends the basics. People will go off in tangents if you don't focus them in on the basics. So it's the basics over and over and over. And we've worked as far down line as 18 people before.
Yeah, but you know what, Sue? I see that as one of your major secrets to your success, because you've always been prepared to work way down below everyone. Way through everyone. You never leave it just to your front line or your second line to get to do the job. You just roar through and light a fire underneath everyone. And I've seen you do that over and over again. So, but Sue, I wanted to ask you, you know, some people are going to say, and by the way, we're going to move it.
Can I butt in just for a second? We were taught it's not the people that I know who are going to make me a fortune. It's the people they know and the people that those people know. And the people that those people know. You never know when a dud will lead you to a stud. If you have a friend who's you think is too rich, well, he may have a broke brother-in-law. Or if you see someone who, you know, doesn't have enough money and you think they don't know anybody, that's where Bob and I were. We didn't know anyone with money. Nobody was putting money into the business in the beginning. We were just putting a lot of energy in it. And I think that my philosophy was that I would make up for my lack of education in energy. I would just work harder than someone who maybe knew a little more than me. And I continually worked on myself. Bob and I worked on personal development. So you make yourself more worth more in the marketplace. Work on the skills that it takes to build a team and to share your product. And so that's what we did. We worked on personal development. You've seen us develop over the years, from a couple of long-haired hippies to international business people.
Yeah, but the amazing thing is, Sue, is that you've always been mentors right from the word go. You've always been outstanding. So, you know. Anyway, so let's just move on just very quickly, because in a moment we're going to come to the Q&A. So we're going to come to a Q&A in about 5 minutes' time. So I can begin to see some questions coming up on the chat box. What we're not going to do, though, is we're not going to open it up to a free-for-all that people can ask questions on here, because it's just going to be too noisy. So if you've got a particular question you'd like to ask Sue, then I'll ask you just to begin to put those on. There's some very interesting questions that are already coming up, but would you just keep them flowing? And this call is being recorded tonight, by the way, so I can tell you that. All right. So, Sue, one question I think a lot of people would want to ask is, what has been the absolute highest point for you in the business where you thought, wow, this is just incredible. I can't believe this is happening. When did you think that it almost like an out-of-body experience where you just sort of thought our success and what we're experiencing here is so extraordinary? What would you say about that?
There were really two. When the business lasted 1 year, when we got our 12th paycheck, and the company is so strong and so permanent right now, but back then some of the companies that were out were iffy, and companies were going under, and I didn't know if my hard work was going to be, if it was going to go under. I just worked every month, every month, over and over and over, hoping it would last another month. And when we got to a year, and we said, "Oh my gosh, it's lasted a whole year," we just couldn't believe it. And the paycheck was growing, and the team was bigger, and then and Bob and I had actually been asked to start speaking some, and had become national marketing directors in our first, in the first 6 months, we built both spots to national marketing director. But in 22 months, when we got our 22nd check from the company, it put us over our first $1 million. And it was like, oh my gosh, we've made $1 million. Then I knew as soon as we got that check that we could double it, and we could double it again, and we could double it again.
Wow. Well, that's so real what you've just shared, because I mean, everybody, you know, a lot of people are going to say, well, you know, when's my success really going to come? And sometimes it comes straight away, and sometimes it comes after 6 months, sometimes it comes after a year. We had someone on a little bit ago who didn't develop a customer for 18 months or something, and she's just gone PMD. So, you know, incredible things happen, but it's all about, isn't it? It's all about persistence. And that's what you've really, really taught me along the way. So just as we begin to go out now we're going to go into the question and answer in a moment. For the new people listening to the call for the first time, how would you describe the excitement of the opportunity that we have now that you see? I mean, obviously there you are, you've earned $25 million, but you are still so excited. So what do you see for the way it's going in the future?
What I see for the future, James, is absolutely amazing. There's nothing like this product in the world. There's nothing with live enzymes in a capsule. You know, the body recognizes and uses it as food. We are changing the world. We're changing the health of ourselves, the health of our families, the health of our neighborhood, our community, and we're inspiring healthy living around the world. We really, the mission that we are on to inspire healthy living is you know, a cause that anybody can get behind. So so you have to have confidence in this company. 45 years old, Jay Martin's still out there hitting the trail, meeting people, shaking hands. The owner of what are we now, $13 billion company, out on the road shaking hands with new people. So you put your confidence behind this company, put your confidence behind this product, put your confidence in this industry. This is the next $1 trillion industry, trillions of dollars, and it's a worldwide. You can build an organization that spans the globe. When I made that call to you, James, you know, I had never been anywhere in my life. I was born in Mississippi, raised in South Florida. Now I live in Georgia. Had never really, you know, flown on planes or done anything like that. So the excitement of getting to build in England and go to England is what made me brave enough to get you off that plane. So if I can just share enough of the vision to spark the fire in new people, you know, we have a saying, the lifeblood of this business is the new blood in the business. So it's the new people. Always lead by example. I've always tried to lead by example and make sure that I'm growing personally. So I ask myself, am I doing what I want my team to do every day? Is my level of activity up to what I hire myself? Okay. And I've learned to work for the cause and not the applause.
Learn for the cause and not be a
applause.
Right. And what do you mean by that?
I mean, don't just do it to be on stage and have everybody, you know, think you're great. Yeah. For the cause that we're doing.
Yeah. I love that.
Work for the mission.
I love that.
So I just like to see the look in someone's eyes when they get it and say, if she did it, I can do it too.
Oh, I love that. Wow. Well, you're a dynamo, Sue.
Well, thank you very much.
You really are. No, but okay, so let's just go into some of the questions now. And there's some very, very interesting questions that people are asking. People are saying you're looking fantastic, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Right. So now
I'm working in the yard a lot. We're getting ready for we have a 4th of July party coming up. Of course, you all don't celebrate 4th of July like we do. But we'll have 200.
Very quickly, you live on a farm. You've got how many grandchildren?
Oh, we have 300-acre farm, 15 grandchildren. My 5 boys grew up, 15 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren. And we do a 4th of July party here, and we'll have over 250 people. with the redneck water slide and the volleyball and the pool and fireworks, and it'll be amazing. So I've been in the yard a lot. The yard guys are out there now trying to get everything ready.
Good. Okay. Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. So we might all be coming. All right.
You were here a long time ago. It's time
I
to come.
was a long time ago. All right. So let's just ask. Okay. So Sally's got a question from Swindon. What is the best strategy that we can implement in this business, do you think? I mean, what would the best strategy? What would you say when you get going? What's the best strategy?
A tracking sheet.
Best strategy. What's the best strategy?
Strategy is to work on structure. Pay attention to your 5 and 1. Do your make yourself do your 5 and 1. Even if some months it's 5 and 3 or 5 and 2. 1 and 3, whatever. Make yourself talk to 2 people a day about the product and 2 people about the business. Look at, if you only talk to 2 people, if you only talk to 1 about the product and 1 about the business, 2 people a day, 5 days a week is 10 contacts. 10 contacts times 4 weeks is 40 in a month. So if you talk to 40 people every single month, you're going to get results. The 10 that you talk to this week, let's say one says yes to the product, and you get 3 who want more information, and the others are no's. You have that follow-up to do next week. You have the follow-up with your new customer and the follow-up with the 3 or 4 who want more information. Then next week, you're talking to 10 more, and you're going to get the same thing happening. So if you make yourself talk to 2 people a day, 5 days a week, you will have so many contacts and have so many people to follow up on, you won't know what to do with yourself. Your life will be very, very full.
It's fantastic. That's amazing. And all right, so let's ask another question. Lacey Price Jones asks, she asked how long have you been in the business?
29 years. June the 8th was our anniversary in the business, 29 years. And
wow.
James now, it took Bob and me 4 months to talk to 400 people. 120 days to talk to 400 people. Today on social media, you can push a button and talk to 4,000, in 5 seconds.
So
2 a day should not be a problem.
No. So let me ask you this, Lisa Zulu Dogs, I'm sorry for the pronunciation. What would you start with guidelines with? What's the basic package that you would start people off with in the business now, in terms of product? What would you start people off with?
Well, with the trio, and if they can't afford the trio.
You're talking about the premium capsules, yep.
We call it the trio here, the 3, the reds, greens, and the purples. So with the trio, I like to get them started on the capsules. And now on our virtual office, we can actually let our customers manage their orders. So I like to have them put their capsules on auto reorder, and then they order the complete as they need it.
Yeah.
They order the gummies as they need them. They order the bars as they need them. They order the other things as they want them or need them. Yeah. But I encourage them to do those other things. I get them on the capsules. I give them samples of the complete and some of the chewables and a little bit of each of the bars. And I say, now you can order these as you want them. But I show them the examples of how healthy my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren are from using all the products. There's nothing like the complete, and there are doctors explaining what's in the complete and what makes it so good for your body. I even put it in babies' bottles. Shake it up and put it in the baby's bottle, especially if they're not nursing. And our mothers, our pregnant daughter-in-laws took Juice Plus with the babies in the womb. And, there's a Time Magazine article from October 2010 that talks about feeding the fetus in the womb so healthy that you will cause its immune system to be born with such a strong immune system that it will be protected against cancer and other diseases like that for 20 years of its life. So we have products that are literally changing the world. We can create a healthier world, from conception, if we teach people to use these products the right way.
And I think that's wonderful you said that, Sue, because a lot of people who are just having young children of that age and have just had young children, and that's wonderful. So Jackie Hind says, Sue, you say teach them the basics. What would this be?
This would be how to introduce the product, understand the product and what you have. You don't have to be a nutritionist, but you do have to understand how this is made, that this is real food in capsules. And one of the first things people are going to ask, excuse me, is how do they get all that, sorry, how do you get all that nutrition, all those fruits and vegetables in those little capsules? So a little 10-minute video, the next best thing to fruits and vegetables, explains it all. Shows it growing in the field, shows it being shipped to the factory, shows it going through the process in the factory, and spit out the pills. So I think that I always tell them, you know, I could explain it to you for a couple of hours, but there's a little 10-minute video you might want to watch instead. So I help them understand the basics of the product. Understand how you get paid. I want my new recruit to know how to sit down and draw out the stair steps of the marketing plan, explain to someone how you move from position to position, what you earn at that position, and what it takes structure-wise and volume-wise to get there. There's a basic outline of it, and then there's the fast tracking. How do you fast track? Here's the basic stair steps. Here's the fast track to get from dealer to virtual franchisee, like that. And then there are bonuses paid along the way. Bonuses are at different levels, and in different countries they're different amounts, but every country has bonuses that they pay, you know, for going quickly, for going faster. So if you do not know how to draw out those stair steps and sit down and explain to someone how they move through those stair steps, volume-wise and structure-wise, and what they make at each position, then you need to work on that. That's my homework to everybody. Learn that and learn how to teach it. It's empowering to know how you get paid. You can't tell someone how they make money if you don't know yourself. Yeah. So I like, in the first 90 days, I like for my people to know that.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely great. I know Bob is huge on the figures as well, isn't he, drawing it all out. So let me ask you this, Sue, just moving on from getting someone started. Kay Selleck asks, how do you keep your team's momentum up and keep them as excited for their futures as you are? So, yeah, how do you keep people excited? What's your attitude to that?
I think it's just the pull of the future, the vision of what can happen. Getting them to the conferences, the events. If you can get people to events, they will catch the fire. The events are like a bonfire, and my team is like a bonfire. So what happens when you're at a bonfire and a log rolls off the fire and off onto the side? The fire goes out. It gets cold, and the fire goes out, and the log gets cold. So try to keep everybody close to the fire, close to where the events are, especially the conferences. There's nothing like a conference. You guys have football there. We have American football, and you can go to your Super Bowl and experience that excitement, but you can't come back and explain that excitement, that experience. It's almost something you have to feel. You have to stand next to the bonfire and feel the warmth on your own hands. So keeping them at the events, keeping them at the conferences, encouraging them that way. You can't really motivate people. I try to find motivated people. I try to recruit motivated people. It's best if you don't just sponsor a warm body. When you ask someone on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you see this business? How do you envision yourself in this business? It's almost like if they're not an 8 or above, just make them a customer.
But Stu, that's so interesting you say that, because one question from Shirley is, I love that. One question from Shirley is, how do you introduce the products in the business, or do you always introduce both together? So what do you do?
Okay, I think that your story, you heard my story. We have our short story. Along with learning the marketing plan, before you learn the marketing plan, you need to learn your story. And we have a little outline for the story. When did you first how did you first hear about the product, about Juice Plus? What made you decide to use Juice Plus? And why will you use just Juice Plus forever? And the same with the business. How were you introduced to the business? What caught your attention? And what goals did you set? Why did you join the business, and what were your goals that you set with the business? So when you answer those questions and flesh it out and create your own story, make it short, make it interesting, and put lines in there that make people curious. So I always use my story to introduce the product and the business to someone. You learn your story so well that you can tell it together, or you can share it separately. Sometimes I can share the product without sharing the business. I'll drop a little hint about, oh, this is my business. I really would love to share this with you. My short story is, a friend of mine introduced me to Juice Plus. He knew that I had 5 children who wouldn't eat correctly, and I was worried about their health. He told me there was science proving that there was actual food in the capsules, and so I said, let's give it a try. Once we were on the product for a while, I could see that the children were healthier. There were no doctor visits. There was no medications. They were more athletic. They were better in school. They were in better moods. And I turned 66 years old this January. And so my goal now is to look good, feel good, and live a long, healthy life. So I'm always going to take Juice Plus. I don't know what you do for your health or the health of your family, but I'd love to share some information on Juice Plus with you if you're open to that. So that's my story. That's how I share the product with people. Now, sometimes I'll go into the business too. It's hard to share the business without the product, because when people say, what do you do? Oh, I love my job. I'm so fortunate. I love what I do. I love my boss because I'm my boss. I get to be my own boss. And I work from home. I own a business called The Virtual Franchise, and I have business in 26 countries. I market a product called Juice Plus. Have you ever heard of it? No? Well, it's fruits and vegetables in capsule. And if you're interested, I have a little video I can show you to explain what it is. But I love what I do. I've built sales teams in 26 countries around the world. I was able to start as a housewife raising 5 children, looking for something to do, to creating a business of my own that I could work from home and spread around the world. And I'm always looking for excited, motivated teammates. And I love your energy, and I'd love to run something by you if you don't mind. I don't know if this would be a fit for you, but if it is, great. And if not, maybe you know someone you could refer me to, because I'm building my team in this area. So when could you and I get together?
I love it. Well, we're ready to sign up right away, Sue. I mean, it's very
so sometimes so I always mention Juice Plus when I start with the business. But then I'll come back to Juice Plus later. When I'm talking to them about the business, I'm looking for a teammate. This is what I've done with the business. I've been able to get my husband out of construction. We traveled the world together. We've raised 5 children, and go into the grandchildren and that thing. But my goal, I always tell people, my goal when I started this business was to work from home, be my own boss, and supplement my husband's income to the tune of about $25,000 or $30,000 a year. That was my goal.
Wow.
But so much more has happened since then. I've been able to build a team that spans the globe.
Fantastic.
So it's making your story short and exciting.
Yeah. Sue, I've got to say.
And always offer them information. If they don't ask for information, I always say, I'd love to share some information with you. Would you like to go to my website, or would you like for me to give you a CD or DVD?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love that. Now, we're going to just finish now. There's so many other questions we could ask, but frankly, we just we always say that we do the quarter of an hour question scenario. And I just wanted to ask you one final question, and that is about the person. Oh, well, 2 things. First of all, the book the video that you mentioned. What key videos do you use?
I like, there's so many out there, and there's some little YouTube clips now. People are so clever. You can just text someone a YouTube clip. The video that I like is 10 minutes long. It's called The Next Best Thing to Fruits and Vegetables.
Yeah.
And I love Bridging the Gap because it's about 5 minutes long, and I think it's got 6 or 7 doctors on it, just giving little snippets about why Juice Plus is great.
Fantastic. Okay, and then Sue, the final question. I can see quite a lot of books behind you, and everybody would be quite intrigued, in a sense, about what are the most important books for you or you find are the most critical books for people to read, or the CDs to listen to or to download. What do you feel are the absolute critical thing for people to get their mindset right?
Well, those on mindset, you just said it, about how you are what you think. Napoleon Hill said, you bring about what you think about. Think and grow rich. That's been one of my favorites. And then there was the Augmendino one, the greatest secret in the world. He's written many, but the greatest secret in the world is the one that makes you read the scrolls and set goals. And it takes 9 months to read that book. Jim Rohn, anything by Jim Rohn. Anthony Robbins has some great stuff. He's not my favorite, but he has some great stuff. He's very, very popular. Don't get caught up on just one person. It's what we say is research versus plagiarism. When I take a little bit from a lot of different people and create my own program, that's called research. If I just took everything from one person, it would be plagiarism. So don't just have one book, or don't just have one mentor. Don't just go to one kind of seminar. Spread yourself out. Learn a little bit from a lot of different people, but always keep growing. You have to keep growing, because when you get ripe, you start to rot.
When you, I love that. I love that.
So keep growing.
We're just going to finish off now. I think people would absolutely love to hear you speak for hours. You are so compelling.
Well, thank you very much.
Amazing. People are just raving about you. Thanks, Sue, for speaking. We love your accent. Everything you're saying is so incredible. Tell us where you are going to be speaking next. So if people are thinking about doing some travel or something, where's the next place that you would be speaking at? Are you speaking in Europe, in Berlin, or are you coming to Berlin for the conference in September?
The next place I will be speaking will be in my living room, the 26th of this month. I'll do a healthy lifestyle party and a tower garden tour on my deck. So I don't really know where the next, maybe here in Georgia at the, there's a boot camp, the 16th of July. The Berlin.
Where's that boot camp, Sue?
It's sold out. It's up by where Dr. Du Bois lives in Brasstown, Georgia.
Okay, but maybe people might be able to get in if they're desperate,
If they're desperate.
Yeah.
James,
yeah.
I answer my phone. I answer texts. I answer emails. I answer Facebook Messenger. If someone has a question for me, I'll always answer them. When someone has a question for me, I usually ask them, who's your upline NMD? So that I know kind of whose team I'm working with. But every Tuesday and every Thursday, I do calls every 30 minutes back to back from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock my time.
Right.
And some people do a weekly call with me from conference to conference, or for just a couple of months. Some check in with me once a month and we'll do a 30-minute call. Some have me welcome their new teammates. Different kinds of calls, but I do 30-minute segments from 1 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. every afternoon, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Wow. So
if anyone wants to be part of that, should I give my phone number?
Well, goodness me, yes. If you're happy.
706-506-4672. And you can Facebook message me.
Okay.
Okay.
506-4672. I mean, Facebook message, we can become friends with you, and Facebook. Obviously we're friends, but anyone, yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Sue, look, that's it for tonight. I mean, you have been just absolutely incredible. I mean, really.
James, I live now to inspire people.
Yeah,
someone inspired me.
You've definitely done that. Now, just very quickly about an event coming up in London next Thursday. We have an event at Down to Earth Cafe in Kensington High Street, which will be utterly superb. And so that is just a short walk from Harrods and all those lovely places. But so we're having an amazing event there, talking about the product and also talking about the business. That's High Street Kensington, Down to Earth Cafe. So Sue, it just remains for me to say thank you very, very much. This recording will go on Facebook, and long may it remain. And I'm sure people and hundreds and thousands of people will be inspired over many years from this evening's call. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you for the invitation.
My pleasure. Okay, and we'll see you very, very soon. Take
Bye-bye,
care.
everybody.
And good luck with the yard work on the July the 4th.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Take
Bye-bye,
care.
everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.